Hey everybody, my name is Justin and welcome to the report from the field for April 2022, my birthday month, so I am wearing my unicorn sweater. And the report from the field is a monthly update in which I share with you energetic trends I receive from the Akashic record. Trends that could be affecting you emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, even physically. If you don't know exactly what the Akashic record is, I will explain everything in the full report, which includes the themes for April, which are a springtime for grief, a call for soul relationships, rising misinformation games, and the activation of king energy. So stay tuned for the full report. All right, welcome to the full report from the field for April 2022. Again, my name is Justin and I am an Akashic consultant. I help bring people into their soul's archive known as the Akashic record, which is an energetic imprint of everything every soul has ever thought, felt, said, done, deeply wanted, longed for, agreed to. This is a source of wisdom and truth that people come into for liberating and personalized guidance for any issue in one's life, from relationships to career to spiritual path to health, you name it. It helps bring alignment with one's soul's path and greater ease. I can't tell you how much this Akashic record has really impacted me in my life. It has guided me to see many energetic trends that are affecting us personally and collectively, and has asked me to share this information with you on a monthly basis called The Report from the Field. I have opened the records now. I will be speaking from the records in this video, so sometimes you might see me pause and collect myself to receive new information. I have written down some notes to guide the process of sharing this information now, but again, if you do see me have a moment of pause, no worries, it's just the records trying to bring in some more information for you. If you want to know more about what I do and what the Akashic record is, please head over to my website, justinandersontaylor.com. You can learn all about this amazing and powerful modality of transformation. All right, so the first trend for April 2022 is a springtime for grief. As you well know, there are many great losses happening in the collective right now. There's the war in Ukraine, there's economic and environmental losses, but you're probably noticing that there are some pretty powerful losses in your life personally. And in April, there's going to be a lot of energy supporting the grieving of these losses, moments of upswelling of grief. And the invitation is to embrace these upswellings as sacred portals for your soul's growth and transformation. The records are saying that most of us live in cultures that really devalue grief, that pathologize grief, that treat grief more like a head cold or a flu that you're supposed to get over in like a few weeks or a few months. And this is nonsense. Grief is not an affliction or a disease. It is truly a portal for your soul. It's a portal for your soul to come more forward into your life, into 3 dimensions. So when you notice your grieving coming forward in moments of upswelling, the invitation is to see it as a gift, as an opportunity to have a powerful opening. One of the suggestions is to put a hand on your heart when you feel this coming and taking a moment to listen to yourself and to say, tell me about your pain. Tell me what is hurting. And let it flow. Another suggestion I've received is to go on what are called grief walks. Take yourself outside. Again, you can put a hand on your heart. Take a walk with your grief. Breathe and feel. Even let out sounds that express this grief. Grief is primal. It is a deep energy that comes to create greater tenderness and vulnerability, which creates more space in us to have the soul fill in and come forward in a bigger way in our lives. So again, sharing or expressing this grief through guttural, primal sound, dance, movement. Again, a beautiful way to let this stuff flow. And it's so important. They're also saying that you don't need to do that kind of intentional expression if that doesn't speak to you this month. They're also saying that it is the season of spring cleaning, and we can use household chores to process and move through grief, especially with other people. So one way to support each other and move through grief together is to simply do some spring cleaning together. Clean out the garage, dust and get all of that stuff that's hiding behind the couch, under rugs, cleaning out the inside of machines, dishwashers, laundry machines, with others as a way to support each other to move through grief. It may not even be appropriate to talk about it with certain people. They might not be the kind of people that want to talk about grief because, hey, like I said, we live in a culture that doesn't want to acknowledge the primal emotion of grief. But to do spring cleaning together in an intentional way is a way, they're saying, to move through it and show care for yourself and others. So make a plan to do some spring cleaning with your spouse or someone else in your orbit, in your family maybe, and help each other move through this grief this month. Very powerful. All right, so the second theme for April 2022 is a call for soul relationships. You may be noticing that people you haven't been in touch with for a long time, maybe the whole duration of this pandemic, are coming forward to make contact, reach out, rekindle the relationship. These could be important friends from your past. These could be important family relationships, even professional relationships. Or you are finding that you yourself feel called to rekindle important relationships that are speaking to your heart, to your soul. People are coming into your dreams, into your idle thoughts throughout the day that you haven't thought about in a long time. And there's this impulse, this urge to reach out and talk to them, create a bridge to these relationships. The invitation from the records is to really honor this impulse and to treat those who do reach out to you as vital to your soul's development. These are our soul buddies in the vastness. As we are going through this energetic storm on this planet, they are saying that a posse of friends and allies that are going to be really supporting our soul's growth and development are going to be coming forward in April. Again, either they're reaching out to you or you find yourself reaching out to them. Really honor this movement because it is bringing together a team that's going to be helping rise together through this transformational time where soul growth is going to be really, really, really key. This also means that relationships that are not in harmony with your soul and your soul's value and desire for growth will fade away in April. You will see a trend toward relationships that do not serve that soul path, coming more into a sunset, fading more into the background. This is healthy. This is natural. They're saying this is a natural part of a soul's maturity. So let that move. Let that move in your life this month. Okay, the third theme is rising misinformation games. So you do not need to open any kind of special record to know that there's all kinds of misinformation going on in our information ecosystem. This is not a new trend necessarily. This is something we've been seeing for a year or two at least. In April, it's going to come even more forward. We're probably going to see some big revelations, major truths continue to come forward. And the invitation from the records is to really check our emotional sobriety with regards to what we are reacting to when we are reading the news. So global events, learning about how things are going around, happening in the world, major events, being sober with what we learn, taking in a 360-degree view. Do not take what you learn on face value, especially in social media. We all know that one. But also in our personal lives, in our work relationships, in our personal relationships, the records are saying, take great care with communication. Do not assume you understand those emails. Take care to pivot conversations to a phone call or an in-person chat when you're dealing with delicate, critical subjects, and assume the best from everybody. Assume everyone's best intentions and assume that maybe I don't know everything. This is also true, they're saying, of our internal ecosystem of information, that there is a capacity for misinformation inside, internal fake news. And that has to do with overreacting, a triggered states, highs and lows. And again, the invitation is to find emotional sobriety. So sleep on it. When you are feeling extra triggered by what's happening around you, sleep on it. Get to a place of emotional even keel before you let your internal system decide anything. That's very important in April. And lastly, this month, you may be noticing what the records are calling activated king energy. This is an energy that you might also call fierce love or fierce courage that acts on behalf of what you deeply value. It is willing to make great sacrifices for what really matters to you and your soul. The whole world has been really inspired by the king energy coming out of Ukraine and the whole conflict in Eastern Europe. Of course, that includes the very brave Ukrainians who are sacrificing so much to defend the country they love, the people they love, the democracy and freedom that they love. You're also seeing this in all of the volunteers who are traveling to Eastern Europe or already live in Eastern Europe, who are supporting the gigantic refugee crisis. Also, the Russians who are protesting, sacrificing their life and livelihood to speak up for what they feel is so important and what really matters in this conflict. This inspiration is spreading an invitation to the whole planet to act with great courage in our lives. And this king energy can show up in all kinds of ways. It can show up in, making an act of great sacrifice of livelihood and life to go and volunteer to make a stand, to protest, to say, I will not let this happen in my world, in my life. It can be on a smaller scale too. It can be the sacrifice of a certain image of yourself that doesn't work for you anymore. You've decided, you know what, I'm not going to behave this way. I'm going to no longer subscribe to this behavior or try to fit to this self-image that I've held on to because it's not authentic to me. I'm going to let it go so I can really show up as my real self in the world. That is activated king energy. Now, they're not saying king to mean men. They mean king energy to mean acts of great sacrifice, great heroism. And these can be done by men and women. So one could say queen energy or sovereign energy, great sovereignty, great self-leadership. So the invitation this month is to embrace the courage. Embrace the courage it takes to act on one's deep values. Maybe last month you didn't have this courage, and you're very surprised that this month you're finding you have it. So go for it. Embrace it. All right. That is the report from the field for April 2022. Again, my name is Justin. If you would like to know more about these reports and what is the Akashic field, again, head over to my website and check it out. There's lots of information there. I will be holding a public Akashic Circle in which I'll be sharing more about what is the Akashic Record and in which you can receive messages from your Akashic Record. So look in the comments or in the description of this video for information about the next Akashic Circle. And don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, take care.